Duncan sat in his office, his heart warm with quiet joy after speaking with Liberty. The call had been short, but it left him smiling. A smile Desmond, his elder brother, quickly noticed. Duncan's thoughts lingered on the life he was building with Liberty and the moment that awaited them both, the day they would finally register their marriage. It wasn't just a formality to him, it was the culmination of patience, faith, and a love that had endured through time, distance, and doubt. In the privacy of his mind, he replayed his plans. The proposal he had once made to Liberty hadn't gone as he hoped. She wasn't ready then, but he understood her hesitation. A woman who had once been deeply hurt needed time to trust again. Now, as their bond grew stronger, he vowed to propose again. Not quietly this time, but with confidence and pride. He wanted to make it public, not for attention, but for a statement, to show the world, and especially those who once wronged her, that Liberty deserved nothing less than a love that would stand tall beside her. Hank and the Brown family had cast her aside without realizing her worth. Duncan wanted them to see, with their own eyes, how radiant Liberty had become, not because of revenge, but because she finally had peace. He intended to give her a proposal that would erase every trace of past pain, one filled with warmth, joy, and dignity. Desmond admired his brother's devotion, though he reminded him to tread carefully. Liberty had been through heartbreak, and her scars ran deep. She had rebuilt her life from ashes, earning respect through perseverance. Her success, her independence, and her kind heart had drawn admiration from many. But Duncan was different from the rest. His feelings were never rooted in her connections or her status. They came from genuine love. He saw Liberty for who she was, not who she was related to. Even little Sony had sensed that sincerity. Once wary, the boy had grown attached to Duncan, their bond transforming into something as natural as that of a father and son. Children, after all, could see the truth with unclouded hearts, and Sony had recognized Duncan's love long before Liberty had fully allowed herself to. Watching the way Duncan treated Sony was what finally melted the last of Liberty's hesitation. She had lost in love once before, but with Duncan, she was ready to take another chance, a gamble she believed she could win this time. Duncan's plans for the future were clear. He wanted everything done right, from the proposal to the marriage certificate, and eventually the grand wedding ceremony. He envisioned a celebration that would not only honor Liberty, but stand proudly beside the lavish weddings of their friends, Zachary and Serenity, and Josh and Jasmine. His love was not only romantic, but filled with deep respect. He wanted Liberty to feel cherished, celebrated, and never lesser than anyone else. His excitement was contagious. When Desmond teased him about his shining eyes, Duncan only smiled. He couldn't hide his happiness. His mind was already filled with thoughts of their future together. Desmond, while supportive, advised caution. Duncan was still recovering and shouldn't travel recklessly, especially since Liberty would return home soon for the new year. But Duncan's heart was restless. He wanted to be by her side, to help her, to support her business, and to make sure she never faced her burdens alone. Their conversation eventually turned to family matters. Desmond mentioned Sony's holiday plans and the laughter he brought into everyone's lives. Then he gently raised a question that had been quietly lingering in the Lewis household: whether Duncan and Liberty planned to have a child of their own. To the family, Sony was lovable, but he was still a Brown by name. A child born of Duncan and Liberty would carry their bloodline and serve as a symbol of their unity. Duncan's response, however, was firm. He loved Sony as his own, without condition or expectation. He didn't need a biological child to complete his family. Love, not blood, defined parenthood in his eyes. Still, he understood his family's concern, their desire for a descendant, their unspoken fears about Liberty's comfort. He knew that if the topic wasn't addressed, it could create misunderstandings later. Desmond encouraged him to speak openly with Liberty about it before marriage, not as pressure, but as mutual understanding. Duncan agreed in silence, knowing his heart's truth. He would never force Liberty into anything. His love was patient, steady, and selfless. For him, Liberty and Sony were already home. And as he sat there, thinking of the woman who had changed his life, he felt an unshakable certainty that the love they had built, slowly and bravely, would endure.